Welcome to the SwitchClicksPodcast, episode 15, recorded on October 25th, 2020. Today we'll be discussing the recent announcement of the first Fire Emblem game being released to Western audiences. Today I'm joined by Nathan.
Whoa!
My name is Dakota. So I guess Nintendo put out a trailer titled ? Something for Fire Emblem fans or something. They announced a 30th anniversary, I guess a celebration game almost, and they are localizing / re-releasing the original Fire Emblem game to Western audiences.
It's been 30 years. It's been 30 years.
Well, yeah, it's about time, I guess.
I mean, they did kind of remake this game on the DS, but gameplay was entirely different, so fans were still looking for the original Famicom game.
Yeah. Full disclosure.
Yeah. But now this kind of sparked some discussions for a certain other RPG game that has been highly requested to be localized. Hint, Other 3.
That's true.
Gosh. Crazy.
This game, it's I guess it's titled Fire Emblem Shadow Dragon and the Blade of Light. I'm pretty sure that's a straight translation. I would assume it would be.
Yeah.
And
the remake was just Shadow Dragon.
Oh. They're only releasing it on the eShop as a digital download. I think for like $6, which is honestly pretty good.
Pretty good for an NES game being re-released, because that's about the same as a regular virtual console game I could find.
Like Nintendo would definitely charge anybody like $100 or so for a Mario or a Zelda. But when it comes to Fire Emblem, the game that's very niche but it's also very popular, let's just put it back on for $6. Yeah, that'll work.
Yeah, I mean, it didn't come with NSO, but I'm not complaining because it's a special type of game. It's it's a big localization thing. Nope, it's not some regular game that you could pass up, like Star Fox 2, for example. That game was unreleased in general. This one was released in Japan, and players had to rely on changing their accounts to Japan in order to actually play this game. It was in Japanese, so this doesn't deserve to be part of a subscription. This deserves to be its own separate release.
Well, it is special enough to get the Nintendo March 31st seal of approval.
Oh my gosh.
So if nobody does know, they're pulling the March 31st card on this game, where it's not going to be available on the eShop after March 31st, just like the Mario games. It's bullcrap.
So many anniversary things. I swear, they really need to stop doing this.
I'm wondering why they didn't do it maybe a little bit later. I'm not sure when this game originally came out, but I would assume...
Yeah, it's kind of being squished in between Mario 35th and the Zelda 35th, when you think about it.
Yeah.
There's just too much going on.
They also announced that they're releasing I think a collector's edition. It's a physical thing. It has a bunch of... I'm looking at a photo right now. Looks like it has a original cartridge, NES cartridge, which is pretty cool. It's not usable, but it's like a copy of it. Yeah, it's really cool. And it includes a box with it and not just a cartridge.
Oh, they're really dedicated to that.
And
even if it's just for cosmetics.
That's true. And I want you to guess how long it took for pre-orders to sell out.
Let me guess, like probably an hour.
It ran out the first 2 seconds it was available.
First 2 seconds?
That's the average over every website.
Oh my gosh. 2 seconds and it's already gone.
Now, pre-orders are still coming available on the different websites, but it ran out in 2 seconds on Best Buy. So
this is a really, really big thing. I suppose maybe it makes sense because like Three Houses did win that one like award at the game awards. So
that's true.
Fire Emblem's pretty big. It's not something to be messed around with.
Usually these 30th anniversary things go by really fast anyway, so...
Yeah, just like those Mario pins, those 35th anniversary pins.
That's true. At least people got that. Like, you could see that people had them, or had, like, orders to them. Mine, I think, is coming, actually, in the next 2 days or so. Hopefully they're good quality and worth the $7.
Like what you hear so far? Make sure you join our community Discord server for instant updates and exclusive sneak peeks. This podcast is made possible by listeners like you. Thank you for your support. Now back to the show.
So this honestly begs a question. What else could Nintendo release or like a remake, a remaster? Like, what could they do?
Easily, Mother 3.
Well, that's the number one choice for anybody.
That's obviously the number one choice.
I've never played a Mother game, but sure.
Other Fire Emblem games are like up to that.
Yeah, honestly, I think if this is successful enough, they might consider throwing out other games.
Yeah, they'll continue going on with the Fire Emblem games for sure, because requests are probably really high right now.
I would honestly prefer if they remade them like what's the Echoes game on 3DS? I think that's a remake of an old one.
Echoes. I don't know. I don't remember the title.
Yeah, but it's like with two red-haired protagonists. No, green-haired protagonists. But yeah, I don't remember the name. But I think I'd prefer if they just remade games.
Yeah, remaking them would give them better value, but I guess that also changes up gameplay, and some fans won't take that lightly.
Oh, well, yeah. Especially Lex.
Especially our friend Lex. He does not like the new games, for one thing.
Full disclosure, I've only played 3 Houses, so I'm not...
Full disclosure, I barely played 3 Houses.
I loved 3 Houses, but...
I played like a bit of the spin-off Heroes on mobile, but that's really not comparable.
So then, other than Mother 3, what's the other games? Maybe a Zelda, but it wouldn't make
Zelda
sense.
It's its own tier. It's definitely going to get the whole remake treatment.
Maybe they could release the original Pokemon Green.
Oh, actually, there's probably no point in Pokemon Green.
Well, they could literally release Pokemon Red and then rebrand it as Pokemon Green, and then release it, and the people would pay $20 for it.
Same thing with Fire Red and Leaf Green. Just re-release Leaf Green, like Fire Red, and just call it Leaf Green.
That's true.
Yeah, there's almost no difference. I don't think there is anything except for the title screen.
Well, yeah, I guess so. Maybe might be names could change. I don't remember.
I guarantee you, people will probably get pissed off because it's another Gen 1 thing.
Yeah. I don't remember.
So many games you can't, though.
I don't remember if there's many Japanese exclusives that haven't really came over, other than Fire Emblem, because that's kind of exclusive.
I don't know. I think. Oh, I was thinking of like some Silo of View Zelda games, but I don't remember what they are. I think they made it to North America. They're very limited time releases, though, for one thing. They were based off of A Link to the Past. Not something I'm going to delve into because it's way too small of a thing. In terms of what needs to be localized.
Oh, I have actually a pretty good idea. What if they localize the original Doki Doki Panic, which was Super Mario Brothers 3?
There would absolutely be no point in that.
Well, what if they give you the option?
Mario Bros. 2, but in English, but Japanese version in English, slightly different with different characters. All the enemies are the same.
What about like the original Animal Forest? which is Animal Crossing.
Oh, that's
which
actually
pretty cool.
That's gonna be pretty cool. Although if they remake it, that's a whole different story. But that's definitely up for discussion too. I don't think there were that many others that were blocked behind exclusivity.
So since Nintendo's really pushing 30th anniversaries, we know that next year is the 30th anniversary for Zelda and Metroid. And people have been thinking, okay, so they're definitely going to do something for Zelda, maybe for Metroid. Do you think they could do something like this, like what they did with Fire Emblem with Zelda, or no? Or Metroid?
No, I'm thinking more of the Super Mario route of stuff, but maybe more so individual releases rather than having a collection of sorts. Because
I'm not sure.
Collection would probably ruin some experiences or expectations. Like, what would you add in a collection anyways? Ocarina of Time, Majora's Mask, Skyward Sword?
I think they would skip Skyward Sword.
Yeah. Like,
put Skyward Sword as a separate, like they did with 3D World.
Then so were Twilight Princess and the Wind Waker. Both of those got Wii U release. Yeah, and those would get the 3D World treatment.
I think they would do maybe a bundle with the 2 Wii games and the GameCube game, and then maybe a double bundle with 2 games with the 64 games. Yeah. There's no way they would put 5 in one.
Yeah, they're probably not going to re-release the classic games too, because they already have those. Nintendo Switch Online. I really think that Skyward Sword is just going to get I'm not sure if it's going to be a remastered or it's just going to be a re-release or something, but I have a feeling it'll come out.
Something will happen.
Individually, for sure, because they can't make a collection.
I think the 64 games are definitely still worth like almost full price nowadays. So
because they're still selling the 3DS versions of those. Well,
that's true.
I think they're kind of throwing out discounts right now at My Nintendo, so that's maybe a hint. I'm really stretching it there.
I think the Ocarina of Time 3D is a part of the Nintendo Selects line right now, so you can get it for $20 on the 3DS.
There's absolutely no way they're gonna.
Yeah, if they would remake it, they're not going to sell it. I think they would just re-release the 64 game and sell it for $40 if they did it singly.
Oh, that's going to be painful to play, though.
Well, but...
Infamous Water Temple with Iron Boots, having to pause every now and then to equip and unequip.
Well, hey, what did people say about the Sunshine? The game wouldn't work because there's no analog controllers, analog buttons.
Oh, yeah.
It still works.
You're saying, they could just make it an item or some button that you have to press, but
I guess you could use a D-pad in a way.
Yeah, but the D-pads, I guess that works. I don't remember the GameCube controls, but there was a lot that was used. I honestly think though there's probably not going to be a Zelda collection for this anniversary. It's so not a good idea. There's not much that you can really do. I mean, if you want to add in the more obscure games like Four Swords and Four Swords Adventures, maybe, but those games are multiplayer based, and you also have like Game Boy games, which probably will get remakes like Link's Awakening. There's really not much they can do in this anniversary in terms of collection-wise thing. Maybe a dual.
So what if they? I just had an idea. What if they re-release either the original game or Link to the Past, which is arguably the best Zelda game, 2D. They re-release that, and you can buy it on the eShop for a certain amount of time alone, maybe for like $10 or so. But then they also put out a physical bundle like they did with this Fire Emblem game, where you get like a remake of the cartridge with the box, maybe some extra stuff.
The fact that it's on Nintendo Switch Online already, and the fact that Breath of the Wild is a more popular Zelda game right now, kind of says that it's probably not going to sell to that as many people as Fire Emblem did.
Yeah. The economics doesn't really make sense there. If you're going to pay $25 to get a year of Nintendo Switch Online plus both of the games, it wouldn't make sense to buy one of the games for $10.
Different games, yeah.
Yeah.
Rather than being more expensive. There's no reason to release it.
Somebody would
one game. Yeah. But I guess this is going to be very different from the Super Mario one. I can almost see it like as a guarantee.
They're probably going to be a little bit more careful, only because it's still kind of an active environment. The Zelda community, the Mario community isn't really too angry that they keep re-releasing because it's just become the norm now.
And meanwhile, you have Zelda. Everyone wants Ocarina of Time HD, but then you have the other half who just wants the Skyward Sword remake, and you have the other half, or the other portion, that wants Breath of the Wild. It's so split up. But, I guess that's where they have to be really careful. At least they're doing Age of Calamity, sort of.
Yeah.
I guess that, for Breath of the Wild fans.
They'll probably put some kind of DLC into that game anyway.
Yeah, probably.
Dude, they're gonna pump that game.
There was one game I was kind of predicting for 35th anniversary. So you know how I wouldn't say this is Battle Royale necessarily, but remember how Nintendo just dropped the Super Mario 35 as a sort of limited time for the anniversary? Yeah. I have two ideas for the 35th anniversary of Zelda. One of them is a dungeon runner battle royale game where you're playing the original Zelda game in a dungeon, and the amount of enemies you defeat will be transferred to another player, and whatever room they venture in, randomly select, I guess, all those enemies will appear there for them to fight.
That's going to be so hard.
It's going to be so hard, but it's going to be chaotic, and it's probably going to be fun.
It's
probably hard to do.
I would prefer maybe if they did like a Zelda Battle Royale in the original style. Maybe you're fighting Links. You're like almost like a 1v1 tournament style.
You know how badly multiplayer has gone for Zelda games? I would not go there if that was the case.
But it sounds fun.
People talked about how PvP would work in a Zelda game, and I'm just like, oh, you're bashing shields all the time.
Well, maybe not the original, but like Breath of the Wild, if you put a Battle Royale in Breath of the Wild, dude.
That's even worse. I'm saying you're just going to be hitting someone else's shield for 30 seconds straight.
Trying to parry every 2 seconds.
Yeah, that's not going to work. Plus, it's a pretty big game to program, if that was the case.
Thank you for listening to Switch Clicks Podcast. Subscribe to us on YouTube and Spotify so you never miss an episode. Or if you'd simply tell a friend about the show, that would help us a lot too. We'll see you next time on the Switch Clicks Podcast.